Hey guys, so Raymond here, and today I was supposed to work on the talibong again, but I'm probably gonna do that in a few moments. But real life kind of got in the way. So this is a knife. Um, this is one of the kitchen knives that we have at home, and somebody, I don't know who, but there was someone who dropped it on the hardened part, right? And this is a Japanese kitchen knife. I got it from a surplus shop a while back. It was the price was pretty good, especially since, as you can see, I had to change the handle. So I had to change it to a Bayabas handle, which I really like. Actually, it's pretty nice in the hand. But this has been like one of the workhorse knives we have at home because it's pretty nice. It's light in the hand. My wife likes to use it, and it's super sharp. So makes everything easier, right? But since somebody dropped it, uh, right there, so annoying. I'd have to clean it up a little bit. And okay, one of the problems here is it's a Japanese knife, right? So it does, if you take a look at the bottom, right, you can really see the difference of the hardened edge versus the normal steel. Probably the reason why I got this in the first place. It's kind of accentuated because of the rust. um yeah, so it's there. So the and as you might see, right, the hardened edge is gone in this part, right? This one, it's not a hardened edge, but it is sharp. But yeah, it's not supposed to be a cutting edge or anything. So I don't know about edge retention or whatever. But anyway, I mean, even if this thing gives up the ghost, as it were, it still served us pretty well for a couple of years. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna try to grind it out, smoothen it out, make it look all nice and stuff, and then probably just hand sharpen it afterwards. So that's for this afternoon. Okay. So, like I said last time, I'm going to do it teacher style. So, I'm going to just no edits, just do the thing in front of you. So, I'm going to lower it down so you guys can see what I'm working with. So, this is kind of my work table, as it were. So, we're going to get started with the angle grinder. I think this is plugged in. Yeah, it's plugged in. We're going to use. That is super loud. So we're going to use one of the rougher stones. Like, we're going to use one of these rough stones. It's not that rough, actually. It's supposed to be a 400 grit angle grinder stone. I got it off of Shopee, of all places. Um, but there we go. Seems to be okay. I don't know how fine grit it is for real. Um, but, it is a little bit finer, I think, than the standard grinding disc. So, just spin it up. Alright, that's not going anywhere. And we're gonna freehand this. As you know, you might, as you guys might notice, I like freehanding things. I don't really like using jigs. And this is something I think I can do freehand. So, hold up. Alright. So I'm gonna angle it so you guys can see it. Ah, good. interesting note, one note is, as you notice, I'm jamming it against this wood because if I do it super freehand, it starts chattering on the angle grinder stone. So by bracing it against this piece of wood, it becomes a little bit more stable. All right, I'm taking a look. Okay, still a bit more. Right, this is a very thin piece of metal, so it just grinds off super easily. All right, I think I'm gonna take on more. Okay. Yeah, there's still some shattered parts down the edge. Alright. Alright, pretty close to good. I think this is good enough. I mean, it is just this rough stone. And then I'm gonna move on to something a little bit more. I'm gonna move on to whetstones after this. Um, do okay. There is still. Hold on. Gosh, I'm so old. I have to take off. I have to do this thing now. Alright. Alright, I have to take off a little bit more. That's about right. Alright, and then off to a whetstone. Let me get a stone, you guys. And we're back. Alright, I was taking a look at this. And as you guys can see, alright, I've got that nice gradual thing going. And it works well. But if you can look down the edge, it's basically flat at this point. So I'm gonna try to put an edge on this. I'm not gonna use the whetstones yet because that will take too long. So we're still gonna bring out the handy dandy angle grinder. We're gonna change the thing into one of these grinding discs with a foam backing. It's pretty good. This one is a 60 grit, way too coarse. I was actually using this to shape the Carabao horn handles. But there we go. So we're gonna get something a little bit better. Maybe not this one. Hold on. What's this? There you go, 120. Still a bit. So we're gonna use 120 grit. The tricky part about this thing is just how to do it so that it's dead center. If it's not dead center, there's a lot of weeble wobble. And this is an old angle grinder. I've had this since 1997. Oh, jeez, this is an old machine. Anyway, I've had it for a while, so it does have a little bit of chatter to it. Not enough to be worrisome, but yeah. When you do that little spin, if it spins smoothly, you can really feel it in your hand. So here, we're just gonna touch it up. This is one of those times I wish I had a bench grinder, so something that is aggressive but not too aggressive. Hold on. All right. So right now it's super rough, as you can see there. But it's so thin that I really need to just use a hand grinder for the rest of it. Wait, let me check. No, maybe not yet. The tricky thing about this is you really are changing like the geometry of the blade, so you have to be a bit careful about it, but not so careful because it's gonna take me forever. I want to be done with this really soon. So yeah, this looks much better. This At this point we can kind of hand yeah, this is where we hand grind it. So everybody has their own whetstone system. I think like everybody who sharpens their blades with hand stones, everybody has their own system of doing it. Um, so yeah, do whatever works. I don't know where did I get this one? I think I also got this whetstone online. Um, it's kind of okay. It does take off a lot of material, But here's the problem: it's kind of a low quality one. Like it's not a high end brand or anything like that. But the interesting part was, um, it wasn't labeled. It's one of those whetstones where there's a grit. There's a different grit on either side, and this thing was completely unlabeled. So it was up to me to judge which side was which. Like which one was the rougher side, which one was the smoother side. And the thing about it is, you know, initially, like one side will feel smooth, and then the other side. But the thing I like about it is it takes out a lot of material, which is what I wanted. I'm probably gonna get. I've been looking for a good 250 um 250 grit whetstone, something that just takes up material like crazy, but I haven't found a really good one. So yeah, I'm still on the lookout. I've found some okay looking ones on like Shopee or whatever, and I mean like it's a bit overpriced in my opinion for what it was, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just bite the bullet, buy one of those things, and see. Because I like again, like I said, I just needed to take up as much material as it could. Okay, it's starting to look better, right? So what I'm trying to do is, so since these um, Japanese knives are single bevel, I'm going, I'm doing all the grinding on one side, but I'm doing it until I kind of feel the burr on the other side, and that what tells me is, especially when I'm doing like rough shaping like this, when you're just absolutely just changing the geometry of the blade, that's what I wait for. That burr at the end of it. When you try to use the whole stone, it's not the size of the stone, it's how much of it you use. Alright, so it's getting there. It's getting there. Alright, I'm starting to feel the burr on the other side. One of the indicators that tells me that this thing is taking up material is that kind of grayish mud that comes out afterwards. Um, because it's a different color from the stone. It's like this darker color, so it tells me that it's not the stone. I'm not just mucking up the stone. I'm actually taking out material from the blade. So, which is what I want at this stage, because again, I'm re-profiling the edge. All right. Okay. So there's a burr. Another problem, one problem with wet honing like this or wet sharpening is my fingers get pruny after doing this, right? And when my fingers get pruny, oh jeez, I don't know, like even a not so sharp blade starts feeling sharp under your finger, so kind of weirds me out when that happens. So sometimes I stop too early. That's why at this point I think the burr is what I'm waiting for. I think if I get that burr, I'm fine. There we go. Alright, so we have the burr. So once you get that burr on this side, so once you sharpen this side, right? The other side, you feel it. You do you pull your finger across it, and you feel the burr. That tells you you can go and do this. Just lay it out flat. And this is the thing that weirded me out with Japanese blades, is that this whole middle part is kind of hollow, and it has a high spot here all along it. So it's not a perfectly flat thing. Um, I- and suppose I think it's supposed to help with, food not sticking to your blade and that thing. It also helps with sharpening. So there, you don't have to go too hard on the other side. So once you reshaped here, once you feel that burr, you just do enough to get rid of the burr, and that's it. And now we move on to the bed to a finer grit stone. So this one is a 1000 grit stone. I think I got it from MK Kitchen a while back. Um, it's pretty good actually. For a 1000 grit stone, it actually takes out a lot of material, which was very surprising. But anyway, so pretty much I'm gonna keep following the same angle as I did before. So follow the original angle, kind of feel it out, especially that bevel that I established with the curvy part. Yeah. And it's super smooth. And then you get, even with this, you can kind of get a tiny burr on the other side. That's also fine. It's actually pretty good. Alright, so a little bit more. The thing I don't like about this one from MK Kitchen is that it gets really fouled up. Like if I'm doing like one of my talibongs on this thing, it just fouls up so much. I have to keep cleaning it and maybe resurfacing it, and it's not that great. So I might put the. It's such a nice thing because it, again, I like it because it takes out a lot of material, and you kind of know it takes out a lot of material because I don't know. Yeah, I think it's visible. No, I don't think it's that visible from the camera, but it has like little shiny bits on it. So that means it's taking out material. That's why your blade is. It's like your blade is like a piece of chalk, and this thing is like your chalkboard, and That's why you're able to write on it, is because your chalk is getting smaller. All right, so I think this is pretty good, right? I mean, not polishing this, so this is again, this is our workhorse knife for our kitchen, so it doesn't have to be super super shiny. This has to be sharp. Oh lord, it's getting sharp. But it's so hard to re resurface it, because like I said, the original intention is this bit is hollow, right, while you have high spots everywhere. But because I reshaped this, there's a section here that is supposed to be part of the hollow, so it doesn't quite get sharp, um yeah, somewhere around here, it's part of the hollow. It doesn't, the bevel on the other side just doesn't do it. So anyway, it's not gonna be perfect. What do you expect after so much damage on this thing? Now this one, I also got this online. Lord, what is that? Why does it have adhesive? What's this? Anyway, so this is something. This is a stone I got online a while back. It's pretty good. It's a 100% natural stone from here in the Philippines. Um, I like it. The only problem is it's an unknown grit. The quality is not as good as I would like it, because it has some, the 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 grit is not uniform all throughout. Like, you have some really smooth parts and you have some rough parts. It's not that great, and it has some of these like hard deposits inside it. Like, it's imperfect for sure. But again, I bought it online. The price was pretty good, so I thought, why not? It was it was cheap enough that taking a gamble wasn't really a gamble, right? So I'm three. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. And if you're dealing with big blades, it doesn't matter so much. Anyway, I keep refacing it, hoping to get rid of the hard spots. But there we go. Alright, so consistency is the key. Keep the angle the way it is. I mean, it's easy for me to say consistency is key, but I'm not that consistent, to be honest. I mean, you can kind of tell my sharpening kind of wanders off. Especially again, I'm gonna be done with this, so I can put this in the kitchen, and we can use it. What the heck? Oh no! Oh, that was a problem I didn't see. Anyway, it's something for another day. But here, on the edge of it, I don't know if you can see it. Uh, but there we go. I think you can kind of see it from there. There's a lot of worn out bits. So I was so focused on this part, I didn't see this part. Anyway, it'll still cut. I mean, tomatoes, potatoes, that kind of thing. It's not gonna be that big a problem. The main part is I got that jagged part removed, polishing the edge, making it super sharp, or as sharp as we can. Feel the burr. A little bit more. Man, I'm gonna have to pick out one of these things again. It's too bad that the Japanese surplus shop near where I live kind of closed down. But I think they just moved to a new place. But their new place is not so hot. I mean, it's not a great place. It's smaller than their old place. And that's why they can't display everything that they used to display. And they're not selling the weird stuff anymore. Like you don't get the weird furniture and the weird stuff because they have a smaller space. It has to be, they have to stock the shelves with what people want, not just stuff that maybe people would want. All right, so there we go. All right, there it is. So one, two, four. So flat and five. Maybe that was a bit too much, but it's fine. So there we go, reprofiled. This would be good for a few more years. I'm not gonna polish it anymore. I'd love to polish it, but again, it's such. I did it before. Like I polished it to like almost a mirror polish, but it was such a waste of time because I'm not the only one who uses it. Like the whole family kind of uses this thing. So sometimes there'll be water stains on it, and sure enough, there'll be water stains on it. So I think that's it for now. It's getting dark, so I don't think there's gonna be time for me to make the handle. But there we go. I hope that was at least helpful, and I hope you guys learned something about, I don't know, my hobby. See you next time.